Sorry, but HBO's House of the Dragon can't touch Game of Thrones' greatness. It remains to be seen. When you play the Game of TV spin-offs, oh my god. Why do they have to do that? Why does every article have to be cutesy with some cringe pun? Anyway, Die is a bit too strong, but there's a lot of stake here for certain premium cable network. True. HBO is getting big that more than 3 years after mega hit Game of Thrones aired its final and poorly received episode, there is still an appetite for Westerosi drama. It's making that bet with the prequel series House of the Dragon, blah blah blah. A gilded new drama that aims to recapture the phenomenon. Unfortunately, phenomena are singular and extraordinarily difficult to achieve. Trying to recreate one that leads to dull cookie-cutter series like Dragon. Are we really calling it Dragon? Oh, betting big. I'm dumb. Something that smells and sounds and looks like Thrones, but lacks the substance of the original. For fans who love the world author Germ created with a swife, it's a deep disappointment. Don't you love it when people speak for you? That's fucking lame. No, you're wrong. It's not a deep disappointment for me. I love Westeros. That's probably clear. And this is not a deep disappointment for me. I loved King's Landing in this episode. I thought it was great. When was this? Today. Yesterday. Created by people. Dragon is a different beast than Thrones. Do we have to call it Dragon? That sucks. Pun intended. Based on Martin's encyclopedia-like book. It's more of a history than an encyclopedia. It's a prequel that tells the story of one episode among the ancestors of Daenerys Targaryen, played by Emilia Clarke in Thrones. Journalism's so funny. The creators have likened it to Shakespeare's King Lear, not a world-spanning epic featuring 20-plus characters and locations, but rather a smaller family drama about the ruling dynasty in the capital of King's Landing. I guess that's like King Lear. That's a decently well-known point of comparison they can use, I guess. That in itself is not really a problem. Thrones was always at its best, when it focused on political drama instead of fantastical. This is a completely true statement, but the spin-off story of family angst amid the dragon-taming Targaryen clan is just not nearly as interesting as the heyday of Lannisters, Starks, and Littlefinger in the original series. It's often just boring, and all the scenes of orgies, disturbingly graphic childbirth, I don't know, and dragon flying in the world can't fix a dull plot and a stilted script. Okay, so I know what happens in the Dance of the Dragons. It's not a dull plot. Not nearly as interesting. I don't know. Like, how can you declare this? Have you seen the 6 preview episodes? You released it today, yesterday. So I assume that you hadn't seen it before, the premiere. Otherwise, you would have released it when the embargo was lifted. So you've seen the first episode, and you've decided that it's the whole thing just can't be as interesting as the Lannisters, Starks, and Littlefinger. I mean, from the sounds of it, this person prefers the earlier seasons of Game of Thrones too. Dragon primarily tells the story of 2 women, Rhaenyra Targaryen and Alicent Hightower. Played at first as teenagers, I know. Viserys is also under constant pressures. Yep, got it. Poor characterization is a problem with every person we encounter. Jesus. Really? None of these characters are purely good or evil. They've characterized this as a problem. None of these characters are purely good or evil. And while this may reflect real life, we can't sympathize or connect with many of them. This is fucking mental. What? Okay, so my whole life, I've maintained that Superman is just not a very interesting character. Like, he's only interesting in that, you know, in the One Punch Man sort of way, where it's like, what does the perfect man do? What does someone who can't be defeated do with his life? Like, when you treat him as a human who has achieved perfection in a field, like how that psychologically affects someone. But like, as a, you know, actor extrinsically into the world, not very interesting. I bet this person loves Cersei. Cersei's a great character. None of these people are purely good or evil. I can't sympathize with them. How did you watch the first episode and like not sympathize with any of those people? I would genuinely like to know. The scripts do not help. The writers are heavy-handed with symbolism. Many rats appear at moments of... They have seen the preview the review episodes. They've seen all 6 episodes. I'm pretty sure, because I don't remember that happening too many times to like make note of it. They also chose a far more medieval effect in the dialogue. You can play a drinking game with how often someone says the words "mine own" instead of "my." This person earlier in this article said that people who like what George has written are going to be disappointed. This is literally what George writes. That's what he does. That's George. It's not like some writer trying to emulate that. It's George. What the fuck? The words simply don't jump off the screen, which is a problem because Dragon is talkier than Thrones. Yes, there are battles and sword fights, but they're few and far between. This Westeros is a place mostly of peace, which is great for the fictional citizenry, but terrible for storytelling opportunities. This is like watching the first 6 episodes of Game of Thrones, and you're like, the piece is really boring though, isn't it? Like, some people fight, yeah, but like there's no, there's not enough going on. There's no wars happening yet. And from the feeling I get, we're going to see more battles than that in these first 6 episodes. Dragon at times feels like it's running through a Thrones checklist so as to not miss any element from the original series and anger a single fan. Incest? Check. Okay, people who are invested in the world George has created are going to be disappointed. But there's only incest in it to please Game of Thrones fans. It's not a world-building thing. It's not just like a part of the established tradition of the royal dynasty. It's just there to please casual Game of Thrones fan. Okay. Sniveling prince? Check. Gore? Check. Sexual exploitation of women and girls? Check. Lack of subtext in this article? Sexual exploitation of women and girls. Having only seen the first episode, are they talking about Emma? Are they talking about Alicent being sent to seduce Viserys? Are they talking about the orgy scene? Because that third one I can kind of get behind. It's like, okay, we're watching sex, all right. Battle sequences so dark you can't really see what's happening. Check again. We'll have to wait and see for that. Before Game of Thrones got bad, it was good. Very good. Oh, that sounds like a Glidus line. There was nothing on TV quite like it. Dragon doesn't feel unique or novel at all. And not just because that's such an asinine statement. Yeah, Game of Thrones happened. That's why. Not just because rival fantasy series like Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time are around. Lord of the Rings hasn't come out yet. Oh. And Wheel of Time, I haven't watched Wheel of Time, so I don't know. It's because unlike TV's small number of spectacular spin-offs like Frasier, Maud, or the recently ended Better Call Saul, Dragon hasn't nailed the sweet spot of being familiar yet new, enriching the old story rather than copying it. Are you going to elaborate on that? In what way? In what way hasn't it nailed being familiar yet new? As soon as I saw the new Red Keep, I was like, it's the Red Keep, but look! Right? As soon as I saw Cyrax, I was like, oh, dragon, but look! This is ridiculous. Great TV shows aren't paint-by-numbers endeavors. They are original works of art, and each brushstroke is meaningful and dynamic, each color deftly chosen, all working in tandem to take our breath away. Is House of the Dragon paint-by-numbers? Is that what this is saying? You think that House of the Dragon is paint by numbers? I mean, we'll see going forward. Like, this person's seen 5 more episodes than we have, but no, not in the first episode. I didn't get any of that. When Thrones was at its peak, it was truly breathtaking, creating drama, tension, and even comedy unparalleled by its peers. Game of Thrones' comedy wasn't unparalleled. What are you talking about? Any spin-off didn't really have a chance to recreate that kind of greatness. Okay, probably, maybe. But Dragon, one of many developed by HBO, may not have been the best choice to attempt it. I completely disagree. This was the best one they had going, I'm pretty sure. The Targaryens are a dynasty described in Thrones as rotting from the inside, slowly failing over the generations until the last family members are left with no dragons, no money, and no power. What? When? The Targaryens, this is 170 years before then. One can only hope that HBO doesn't let the world of Thrones fade into oblivion like its platinum-haired royals. They're not letting that happen, and who cares if it does? This is the stupidest article. This is stupider than the Slate article.